This is your daily market recap for Thursday, July 13th, 2023. Let's go.
Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well.
This is Dan Max at eXp Realty, aka the Trading Agent, their daily market review, Thursday, July 13th, 2023. The momentum has taken the market higher near term. PPI, CPI came in lower than expected. No one's surprised by that, especially if you've been following. However, the thing that I think is a little ridiculous is the way the market's reacting. People don't realize that things are slowing down dramatically. That's the reason why inflation is coming down so quickly. Things in China, Europe slowing, credit crunch. There's a million factors going on that are leading to this reaction. And again, as we've talked about, Fed rate hikes are delayed in their reaction, meaning we're feeling the restrictions in monetary policy from literally January and February pricing in now. However, the market seems to be very excited about such, and we'll see how long that lasts. I personally have told people you need to be taking profits the more we rise. Now, again, could we go higher? I mean, I guess it's always possible, but you have to keep in the back of your mind that at this point with what's going on, everything is out of control in the sense of the liquidity that's pumping into the market with retail and people who are trying to catch up. It's pretty dangerous. So if you have any questions, please reach out. Again, always here to help. Want to join the Discord room? Links in the description below. Follow on Twitter. Always posting what's going on there. It's like, come on, there you go. And if you're not familiar with the YouTube channel, and maybe you're listening on this a different device, check us out on YouTube. Again, live recaps, tons of educational videos, tons of content, fishing all the way to real estate, as you know. And also, too, go to the website, thetradingagent.com. Go to the Back to Basics education series. Go from more advanced to beginner material. If you also want to get involved in the Marcus accounts, the 5.15% high yield savings accounts, amazing. If you have any questions, again, let me know. All right, let's get into it. Fed Watch Tool, 92% chance for rate hike. Market's already pricing it in. Interest rates look like they're bottoming. Again, be aware of what's going on. Market is pricing in things way ahead of time, and higher rates going to kill the economy, kill inflation. That's what they do. So don't be surprised when the bonds interest rates start going lower and people start funneling in to risk off assets. But at this point, we're kind of at this like standstill in the sense of that people think risky assets all day. But I'm telling you, the bond market's starting to look really, really, really juicy. We talked about if you bought in the 98, 99 level, whatever it was around there. We'll look at it again, as you know, probably good. Bitcoin, chopping at the highs, not much to say. Oil, again, chopping around. Not surprised that it's, come on, there you go, getting back into this range. Could it get up to 82? I mean, that's always possible. Again, I personally think oil stuck in a nice range. Some people think it was going to squeeze up. Looks like we're getting that little squeeze. Not surprised. Just be careful. Be thoughtful. Again, trade around it. Don't get too locked into excited about big moves. Natural gas, dead. I wouldn't even touch it. Dollar, interesting action the last couple days, right? Like hits the 200-day again. Coming right back down. Chop. I would be a little concerned because remember, what have I talked about in the markets with the dollar and bonds? Volatility in the dollar and the bonds are things that you need to be concerned about, right? Why, right? Well, again, that's the volatility. It's showing there's mispricing in the market, and the market's a little crazy. Notice what we've had when the market, when the dollar does do that. You got to be aware. It's going to put pressure on the market. It's going to get market thinking something's going on. Bonds, as we talked about, look at this action, right? We talked about this. Somebody stopping power, right? Liquidation. Not stopping power. Then stopping power, doji, and look at the rally. Now, again, could it come back down here? That's always possible. I mean, I'd prefer a breakdown and then trap, but it could just be a retest. And so if you started your position in the bonds, so far so good. The VIX closed at the high of the day, which is interesting. Again, this retest of the low, something is sneaky here. VIX is holding up again. So people know. Somebody knows something. This market ain't going to hold up forever, and this action is not sustainable. It's rather dangerous in the overbought territory with everybody in retail and bullish. Just keep that in mind. Just keep it on it. SPY, what can you say? Thought it was an M top. You got a novice gap, another potential gap and trap. Doji, Doji sandwich. Man, we are back testing old trend lines. I mean, if you zoom out on the weekly, monthly, you can see. Here you go. Let me pull up the weekly. Here we are. Are we going to break out? Now, keep in mind, I've said this 1,000 times. Ned Davis research, if you study the 1970s, you had some pretty wild markets with inflation. And after there was a big run, and I think it was 73, 74, kapow. Just keep that in the back of your mind. Tech, wow. 379.99 high today. Thought this was going to be another Emerson. This is actually, again, is it breaking out? Rising into earnings? Oof. Find your risk. That's all I can say. IWM. And this is the thing. You don't know you're in the blow off top or the blow off down until what? Later on. So that's where it's just always, again, protect your capital. Talked about watch for lagging, starting to catch up. We said it should be at least at 200. Next resistance support coming up in the 195s. How much higher could it go? Playing catch up? Tough to know. Just be thoughtful. Be thoughtful, okay? We don't know for sure. The Dia. Dow been lagging. All right, chopping up at the highs. Again, another name that should be much, much higher, but it's not. Just kind of is what it is. Gold, nice oversold rally. We talked about this. Told you guys earlier in the week. Watch the 50-day, 100-day area. Kapow. Here we go. Compressing here. Keep an eye on it. Silver. We said it was oversold due to bounce, right? Bigger bounce than I thought. Interesting. Could we fill this gap? You know, a lot of people are getting really excited about it. Keep an eye on the dollar action. I mean, so far so good. If you were bullish, I didn't think it would go this high. Let's be fully transparent. I'm not going to sit here and play Monday quarterback and not be completely honest and transparent. It's tough to know. I mean, it's a pretty big move. Pretty big move in silver. GDX and GDXJ. It's interesting that these aren't confirming. And when I say aren't confirming, like today, like silver looked like fire. And it's like, look at the GDX getting stuck here around what you could call an inflection zone, right? Could we say this gap here kind of matters? GDXJ, same thing. You would think this thing would be up like $1 or $2, right? We talked about oversold bounce. You know, getting just right back up into the top of the resistance zone. I don't know. Don't know. AG talked about this one being oversold due to bounce. Said trend line and 100-day. Here you go. Keep an eye on it. AEM. 100-day. We said 50-day maybe. I mean, again, oversold bounce. You don't know how high. We always talk about that. It's what's so hard is you don't know. But we expected it. So if you were short, hopefully you covered. Or if you were long, you're expecting this. Cool. Nice work. Newmont said, hey, this thing's been lagging hard forever. I mean, 200-day seems to be important. Again, I would watch this area. Just somewhere you can see the VAP zone. Mid-40s. PAAS. Going nowhere fast. PAAS going nowhere fast. We talked about it. Popping. There you go. Cherry popping daddies. Man, just looks like a big trading range. Taiwan Semi. All right. Let's get into some text name. Interesting action, right? Because we think it's a head and shoulders top. We talked about this a blow off top. It's rallying back. I mean, watch this 105 area. That's all you can really say. I mean, this is what's so hard about the markets when they're irrational and people are just going stupid as things. Literally, are you ever surprised when people are unloaded selling at the lows and then they're buying at the highs and they go, why did I do that? Well, the market's really good at getting people to do the wrong thing the wrong time. Talked about Micron, potentially oversold, could bounce to the 50, 100-day cross. So far, it looks like it is. Good old AMZN, same thing. We talked about 20-day. Maybe it backtests the trend line. You're there. Keep an eye on it. NVIDIA. This is mind-boggling. Look at this sucker. Breakout. Okay. Watch the next fib at 468. That's what I'd be watching. Don't be surprised tomorrow if we gap up and then trap and turn around. Intel, oversold bounce. Talked about the 50-day. Again, a lot of these names. Hey, this is the thing about the market. You don't know for sure. And if you have in your mind that something has to happen, ten cuidado. That's all you can say. Be careful. All right, novice gap trap, in my opinion. Yeah, another one. Now, here you go. People are like, oh, but this wasn't. Okay. If you did take profits on it and you were able to reload, at least you did not, again, what? Take the risk of it blowing out and getting smacked. You could rebuy, whatever you need to do. Okay. Is it breaking out? I mean, you got all-time highs at 160. Remember, this is reverse split. Is it going to get there? Is it going to break out? Oof, good question. And if it does, is it going to sustain? Adobe, again, retesting highs. Didn't think we'd get back up there, but this is what we talk about. Retest. How many times do I say if you watch the channel, retest, retest, retest happen? That's why you don't chase action. Apple, this is interesting. It's stuck. Not going anywhere fast. Amazon hitting some targets that we think about that are great for shorting. Talked about the zone. You're into it. Nice little doji. Get a 2-day range, multiple day range. It looks like this is a good spot. Just take stabs, maybe even 136. CRM. Wow, look at this move, right? Zing. Gaps up. CEO selling $100 million worth of shares, but someone else is just diving head deep into it. Keep an eye on it. Guggenheim, we talked about this one, stuck. Holding the 50-day. Sorry, not the 50-day. Retesting the range and the gap. All right. Again, you can't argue with the action. Doesn't look bearish. Looks like people are getting really excited. Meta Doji over the gap fill into a major area. Keep an eye on it. Again, just be careful. The more you are up, the less you should own in these stocks. And people go, oh, but I want to raise my stop and trail it by 10%. I've seen gaps and big moves, and next thing you know, again, you want to take profits into strength, just like you want to buy dips. It's no different. Oh, I'll raise my stop. I've seen gaps go below the stops, and people just go, well, I'll just wait it out. Microsoft chopping around. NDAQ, we talked about this one. Any pops, look for shorts. I mean, I don't know. 53 would be ideal. MicroStrategy, been on fire. Said this was an interesting area. Last couple days, it broke right through it, right? Now what? I mean, we've talked about the zone in here being the next. You can see it. I don't know why I didn't save. Apologize, but said watch this area in here. I mean, I don't know how high you want to draw it, but yeah, 520. I mean, it's always possible. I would watch this zone. Netflix, we talked about this one. Dead cat bouncing, chopping, chop, 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 chop. Keep an eye on it. Yeah. Roblox stuck cheddar. Going where? Nowhere. Tough to know, guys. Good old Tesla. Tesla chopping. Again, said I'd love to see the trade, love to see the main trend line. We'll see if we get there. Commodity names. Again, we talked about the oversold bounce. Then we talked about chopping. Here you go, retesting highs. You got references. Said watch Nucor. Can it go back after the highs? I mean, it's always possible. Caterpillar. Now this is getting interesting into the short zone. We talk about wait. You're getting up in there. Arrow, copper name holding up. It's interesting because copper spot price is dropping, and people are buying this. Okay, we'll see. CCJ looks like what's her name? Miss Kathy Woods buying this for her tech fund. Interesting. Okay, we'll see what happens here. Watch the range highs again. CF, as we talked about, some of these ag names were oversold due to bounce, chopping around. Don't be surprised. Mosaic, chop, 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 chop. I mean, NTR, love all these names long term, but I'm not falling in love with them. Keep an eye on them. AA, Aeron. Talk about global growth names. Holding the lows for now. We said watch the lows. Again, it's funny how people just pick and choose what they remember. All right, see what happens up here in the 37s, right? Just keep an eye on it, okay? Financials. As we talked about, if it got over the 33s, what next? Up into the 34s? You could have filled the gap. I mean, again, these talk about all the hypotheticals. And people are like, well, what about the 20-month? Yeah, that's where it's at, right in this mid-30s, 34s. You got to be careful, y'all. You can't bet on certainty because, again, nothing's certain. You got bank earnings tomorrow. JP Morgan, not surprised. Is it going to blow out? This action at the highs? I don't know. Be careful. Morgan Stanley, I mean, they could get a rise if JP holds up. I mean, they're just chopping. Goldman Sachs, same thing, holding trend line, chopping around. Talked about you could have some bounces here. KRE, we said what? Chopping around. Watch. Now, this is interesting because we said the 100-day could always come into play, especially if it came down at the angle of ascent, which could relay into the VAP zone. You were there, right? XBI, we talked about it breaking out of the channel, holding all these moving averages. All right, and said bounce. Again, if you watch the previews, we talk about these levels and they can bounce around. You're there, right? Solar, we talked about it holding the low 70s, right? 68s, upper 60s. All right, chopping around. It all looks good. Said ENPH, please don't short this until you see what? A bounce. There you go. Maybe it's the 100-day. I don't know. But these are perfect. These are what you're looking for. If you're going to short, you go. Sedge, same thing. Talked about fake break, rally. It's doubt it's going to get through all those moving averages. For solar, same said, love to see a 200 handle on it. Getting close. HYG, I mean, even you could probably start shorting up in these range. This is interesting because you break the channel and you come right back up to the range highs. HYG, again, corporate debt rallying. I mean, something going on tomorrow? I don't know. Be careful out there. End it with oil, gas, and also oil going, we talked about it. Chop in a range. Big range. Natural gas, UNG, just leave it alone. Please be thoughtful, be careful. XOP, chopping said watch the range highs, 200 day. Maybe you could get up into 140. Again, oversold bounce. The people called for it. Congrats. Love it. Love to see people doing well. ExxonMobil, we've talked about this one being a short up at the highs. It's just going nowhere fast. PXD, sideways today. I mean, with oil up, these names didn't really look that great. Occidental, you think be up $1 or $2? Buffett selling more calls. I don't know. EQT, natural gas breaking out. This needs to get over 40. Now it's back below the 20-day. Watch for confirmation. We'll end it with Flex LNG. Again, I still think I've seen a ton of this. There's going to be a lot of natural gas transportation. These names on pullbacks, love it. All right, if you have any questions, please reach out. I know this market's tough. If you're shorting, again, define your risk. If you're long, do not believe in your hype. Do not believe in certainty. I get so many people, again, that can never buy the dips when we say, hey, the market's melting down, it's time to buy, and they can never sell the highs, and then they come back and they whine and they cry. Just be careful out there. Define your risk. If you're not doing well and you're not trading well, step back. Step back. Don't keep doing if something's not working, don't do more of it. Just keep an eye on it. You can be late. Again, define your risk. Do whatever you need to do. I'll talk to you guys and gals later.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, the PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.